Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the 505 podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is going to be one of our favorite episodes. We wrote it up before, and the juices are flowing. We have so much to talk about.
It's funny because I feel like every episode we say, this is going to be the best podcast
yet. Not a damn lie.
That just means you're improving,
Yeah,
baby.
we're just getting better every time.
And it's going to be better now because we got headphones on.
Yeah, if you're listening to the pod, go over and check out the YouTube video. Pop it up on the big screen because we look insane.
And finally,
right now.
I'm not the one that has like the weird thing. Kostas has the shit headphones, which is great for me, dude. Anyways, dude, it's funny because we can't hear like anything outside of what we hear in the microphones, right?
Yeah, that's
dude,
it.
In I had this like advanced films class senior year, it's like the capstone film class, right? The boom ops, this really shy kid named Colin, and there's like a group of 5 people that are like making the film, right? And if I'm like, say like I was, and we like kind of switch roles, he was always the boom. We'd be like talking about the film that we're making. We're making creative decisions, right? He has the headphones on and the boom pole and the mixer. He can't hear anything outside of the microphone. So we'd literally be like us 3 talking, and then imagine just like a little boom pole comes out of the closet or like out of nowhere.
So
he can hear us. And he would like move it towards like who's talking and be like, what is he doing? I'd be like, Colin, you're a creeper. Colin, please
Total
stop.
creeper vibes.
Dude, it was so funny.
That's great. But yeah, these headphones sound great. I lost a pair of headphones, an expensive pair of headphones on a flight. I just decided that it'd be cool to leave them on for the next person.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't need them. So.
And Kostas wants to upgrade to the big dogs, the MX4s, because me and Chase are part of the Cool Kid Club with the MX4s.
Right. It sounds like you also got to upgrade massage places too.
Dude, first of all, I think Santa's bringing me a pair.
Santa's coming with these.
Santa's for sure coming. He checked, I made a list, checked it twice.
Nice.
Dang.
Got the worst massage of my entire life today. And here's the thing, okay?
Tell us.
I've gotten quite a few massages in my life.
Guy.
Big massage guy.
Huge massage.
I have scoliosis, a lot of neck pain, a lot of back pain from editing and all this good stuff.
I wish I hadn't been talking behind your back about it this whole time. No, I didn't know it was a reason. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, but seriously, it was so bad that when it was done, I told the woman, hey, that was the worst massage I've ever gotten, and I'm not going to pay for this.
And you're like not the guy to do that. I know you are like very like all waiters and waitresses, very nice to all service people. It must have been terrible.
I'm never the one to like speak my mind if I am not loving something. I'll just be like, it's not great. Whatever. Like,
right.
I'll pay for it. It's not a big deal. This was so bad. I said, hey, my neck, I have a kink in my neck and my shoulder's a little sore. So focus on that. The first 20 minutes of the massage, she thought it was a good idea to walk on my legs. She literally was hanging from bars above that were attached to the ceiling, walking on my legs, then massaged me with the sheet on.
That's annoying.
Sheet on's, is it a COVID thing?
No, I don't know.
Because she touched you without the sheet at some point?
Yeah,
Very
like
strange.
fucking
Weird.
halfway through the massage.
Interesting.
And I was like, what? I was like, this is going to heat up at some point. It'll be good. Like she's just kind of getting
Heating
warmed
it
up.
up.
Never heated up.
We've had some shitty experiences with just I had the bad haircut, $100 haircut. But see, I paid. I tipped the damn guy. I don't know why I did that. Why did I tip the dude?
Because it's just like obligation, dude.
Well,
Yeah.
I told him it was the most average haircut I'd ever received, and he's like, well, "Let's fix it." I go, "Dude, no, like I genuinely like I'm leaving," and I gave him it was $100. I was robbed in broad daylight. I was robbed in broad daylight in Brentwood, California.
Wow, rare.
A rarity.
Dude, you guys are bolder than I am. I FaceTime Kostas after the worst hair. So my mom's always cut my hair,
Oh
right?
my
So
God.
I know what I'm going to get. I came back from Norway with just a luscious mane, dude. I was like down to my shoulders of hair, and I really liked my hair a lot, but I had like a real proper guy internship. So I was like, you got to just shape it up. My brother's like, go to this real haircut place. So I go there, and
This is
I'm like,
in Minnesota.
This is in Minnesota,
Okay.
yeah. I like don't know what's happening exactly because I've never really gotten a real haircut. My mom's always cut my hair. He's cutting my hair. And I'm like, okay, like I'm like telling him like I want to look like Heath Ledger from A Knight's Tale. You know, it's like my favorite movie.
There you go.
He's got long hair, it's just like mine. And he cuts it, and dude, I swear to God, it was just a bowl, and it was like short. And I looked at him with just tears in my eyes, and I was like, thanks. and I just was, and I FaceTimed Kostas, just like trying not to cry, and I was like, dude, I just like this is so bad. I like.
And I don't even think I tried to like
He didn't.
say
That's what
no,
I
it
actually.
looks
You
great.
totally-
I
It's not a
appreciated
great-
that. Kostas was like, yeah, man, it's not good.
Just gonna give it to you straight, man.
That's friendship.
Dude, but actually, this is what I did speak my mind. I got pissed at
Yes.
Erewhon the other day.
Okay.
So I go in there, And I'm in the front of like the buffet kind of line, right?
Yep.
But in the Brentwood one, there's like a divider between the pizza line and like the buffet line, right? And there's a guy, and I know he thinks he's in the buffet line, but he's clearly in the pizza line. He's like 50 years old.
He just doesn't get it.
And I'm next in the actual buffet line. Anyways, the lady goes like, okay, who's up next? And he's just, I'm like, I know he's going to say something, but I have to do it.
Yeah.
So I step up because I'm like, I technically am next. I
Yeah,
know
you're
he's going to say
next.
something. And he said, heck, hey, I'm next. And I look at him, I go, yeah, in the pizza line. Like slammed him, dude.
Got
like,
him.
Like
Got him good.
you're not
See
next.
ya.
Yeah, like get a pizza, go ahead.
Yeah.
And then he goes, look, I've been waiting here for longer. And I'm like, yeah, you have been in the pizza line, dude. Anyways, and then she was like, sir, you can go ahead. And I was just livid, man. And I paid like $30 for salmon. I expensed it though. It's okay. Unreal.
$30 for salmon. huh?
She gave me the big piece.
The boys have been taking a few L's, but there's a lot of W's that have been mixed in, you know?
Yeah, like Hyundai paid for the salmon.
Yeah,
It's fucking
exactly. Today's episode, guys, is all about how you can create content for the social media platforms and the platforms that we've seen in our time, because there's been so many, and some have came and gone and some have stuck around for a little bit longer. And I think it's really important to note that when you make content for these platforms, it should be curated for each platform. Every platform has a very different look, a very different feel. Like YouTube right now, it's like movie quality now. People are making like such high quality content on the app. It'll be interesting to see, what happens in these next few years with content. And now even with TikTok, you're seeing like simplified media. You can be a rock star with just your phone.
Right.
Not needing the big camera crew, the Red, the Sonys.
And on TikTok, like we've talked about before, it's almost better to use your phone. So like you almost need to like know where the app is and where like social media, if you want to like leverage that for your work, etc., is going, and like how to adapt to it, basically, which is what we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah. And I mean, you see so many people huge brands messing up TikTok.
Terrible.
Which is crazy. And I mean, it's nuts because young people that are anywhere from 13, 14 to like in their 20s could take over a massive brand's TikTok account and probably create content that's way better than whatever they're putting out right now.
Engaging.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
at least more engaging. You see a few brands that are doing well, like in the comments, like what's the one with the little silly bird?
I don't know. It's the green bird.
Yeah,
They
the green
crush
little
it.
bird. What the hell is the name of that brand? They're like number one, I'd say, in the damn thing.
It's crazy. They have a green bird as a mascot, and like all their TikToks are based around this bird, and it's hilarious. But they also crush it in the comments.
Yeah, their comments are comedy.
I love a sassy comment.
It's not Boingo. That's just not true at all. It's something Go or like,
I don't know what it
The
is.
rest of this
but I've
podcast
seen it.
actually is dedicated to figuring
out
out
that
this
name.
account.
Chloe,
Yeah.
if you could get on finding out what that little green bird thing is, get on that for us. That'd be great.
So
Get on that, baby.
we did want to take a stroll down memory lane as far as social media goes. Go through kind of like how social media started, where it was, what kind of platforms existed up until now.
Yeah, dude. I ripped MySpace, dude. I actually looked back at my MySpace statuses a little bit ago somehow. I can't remember how I found it, but they came up. Almost all of mine were just dumped, period. Just middle school, I was just getting dumped, and I was just posting about it on MySpace. And it would just say dumped, period.
That was it.
And just had to let the ladies know
Well,
I'm single
you had
now.
to let them know that the market's available.
Market's available,
Pop
dump
in.
period, dude.
That's
Come
marketing
on.
101.
Right on the wave, baby.
Oh, I was devastated, though. Those middle school breakups, dude, you can just relive them on MySpace. It's terrible.
Kostas and I weren't heavy into MySpace. For those,
I had one,
I did too, but
I think I was just too young, and social media was still so new that I was like, I have it, but I don't need to use it.
Do you remember? You could like put a song on your wall. Do
Yeah.
you remember that?
So
I always had,
you let the people know what you were really.
I had
and your
messing
top 8
the
friends.
Fray, How to Save a Life. A top eight. That was a big deal.
Holy shit! Yeah, that was nuts. You were always trying to be like, "Yo, dude, am I not in your top 8? Are you
Yeah.
serious?"
Right.
right now?"
You guys would be in my top 8.
Yeah, for
right now,
sure.
currently, for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely,
Not then.
definitely.
I didn't know you guys. Just saying. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, that's
That's
super,
rude.
That's super fair.
Did you use Tumblr? I didn't tumble.
I
didn't.
did have Tumblr. Tumblr was really cool. I didn't really use it as a social media per se. It was just like, oh, there's a bunch of cool photos on here. I'm going to like them and kind of post them on my Tumblr. And it was a way to kind of curate and save photos that I thought were cool and liked. And
Maybe
Kind of,
developing your taste early on.
yeah, a little bit of an
making
aesthetic.
a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
an aesthetic. I like that. And then you saw like, so what was the main thing on Tumblr? It was just resharing pictures.
Yeah. Some people were really into Tumblr. And again, I wasn't like crazy into Tumblr. I just used it as you would follow a couple of people who it was just all about resharing photos. And you would just scroll on your timeline and be like, oh, that's a cool photo. I'm going to like it, or I'm going to share it on my page.
That's great. I wish that's what like Instagram was now.
Yeah, that'd be
Dude,
sick.
instead of this fucking just branded ads everywhere.
Oh my God.
Barstool Sports.
Instagram's almost ruined itself. And I before we get into Instagram, because there's so much to unpack there, something that I think we all just love, in a platform that if you ask somebody, they either love this platform or they probably don't really use it a ton, is YouTube.
Oh, I love YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's by far my favorite platform, because I've learned so many silly things. Learned how to drive stick. I've learned how to pitch stuff for my business. I've learned how to do taxes on YouTube. I mean, YouTube is a gold mine for everything.
My dad like tiled our whole basement using YouTube, dude. And our neighbors came over and they're like, "Who'd you hire?" And my mom's like, "Scott, dude. The most proud she's ever been of her husband, dude. Is sick."
That's great. That's crazy. You learn how to drive stick.
No, and I learned, what's funny is I learned from a guy that had an FRS. So when I got in that car, I was like, holy shit, I already know how to do this. I've learned from this,
that's great.
from this guy already. I've learned how to do it.
It's funny too, because in the beginning it was just like the goof. It was like funny video compilations, you know? It was like the kid shooting the soccer ball and the goalie getting hit in the nuts. That was great.
Yeah.
Charlie bit my finger.
Charlie
bit
and
my finger.
Yeah.
Blood. I love that
So
one.
many viral videos, and that's what it started as. It's crazy to see where YouTube started, what kind of videos were being posted on there versus what's on there now.
Right.
When do you think the whole thing of like a creator / influencer, when did that become a thing?
I want to say around like 2011, 2012, because
sophomore year of high
YouTube came
school.
out, and I want to say 2006, 2007.
Right.
And then it took a couple of years. So maybe around like 2010, 2011 to like kind of find what YouTube
Well,
was.
there was like Jenna Marbles,
Yeah.
and like Fred.
Yeah, Fred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were like original like influencers,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
And, like Bo,
Dawson was kind of at the
yeah,
forefront of that.
like
Yeah.
and like Bo Burnham had all of his songs, and now he's like directing movies, making comedy specials.
Yeah.
But he started on YouTube. I used to crush those videos.
Smosh was big. I didn't ever watch them, but I knew they were big.
Oh, I used to watch that Dota music video. No, okay.
No,
Never mind.
not
Well,
that one.
It's a
Yeah,
great song.
We'll just table it.
Yeah, that's fine. Bass Hunter, check it out.
They had like challenges were really popular, you know, and it was crazy because stuff on you would just go on your homepage and you would just watch shit for you could go down a rabbit hole for like 8 hours, like for a whole day, or watch it all night when you were
And
younger.
it wasn't so saturated, so it was like it was very fun.
Yeah, and
Very
I
interesting space.
still love YouTube to find, like, I watch very selective people, but you know I like to pop
See,
on
but that's what's interesting is now we go on to watch people. You don't go on just to like
to see
browse.
viralness.
You
Yeah,
just
to browse.
like see
yeah.
like whatever's big right now, which was so fun.
I would argue though that
But I was gonna say I do go on my home, right? Do you do that?
I go, yeah.
Yeah. But I always like find the people that I watch, you know.
But see, I think I discover shit now though. If something pops up that's like business related, I'm like, oh, I could get a snippet from this maybe, and
Braden's
I just watch
always just learning stuff, dude.
He also listens to every video. He watches every video 2 times the
I just
speed.
went to the gym, crushed like 3 videos at 2 times.
He
speed.
lives his whole life at 2 times speed, which is so funny that he listens to. You should almost start watching videos at 4 times speed, so it's like 2 times the speed that you live. You know.
just trying to keep it
He
fast.
also drives at 2 times speed for sure.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
for
Because
sure.
you know, after he learned how to drive stick,
yeah,
Off YouTube.
exactly.
But now YouTube is like this very like professional. You kind of have to like really be consistent. You have to really like have a high quality stuff, which is interesting. It's still possible to get onto YouTube and make it, I think. It's just a different platform.
Something to note too, I think, with each platform we talk about. Let's talk about how you think, if someone just hops on it, how hard it is to grow and how hard it is to build.
And our
I think in our recommendations, I think YouTube's by far the hardest.
And I'll tell you why, because I agree with you. I think not only does it take a crazy amount of uniqueness to break through the noise, because YouTube's been around for so long, it seems like everything has been done on YouTube. And on top of that, YouTube videos definitely take the longest to make.
Absolutely.
So it takes the most amount of time and effort to
and
grow
like
on
thought
YouTube.
and everything. But what a gratifying place! Like if to have a platform on YouTube is such a bigger deal than having a platform anywhere else.
Oh, for sure. And
Totally agree.
the fans on YouTube are like friends to,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
To whoever they're subscribing to, you feel like a really deep connection with the creator that you follow.
Absolutely.
I went to VidCon a couple years, and I think now it's gotten more, and I mean, Viners and stuff were popular there, TikTokers, Musical.ly stars and stuff, but it's mainly, and it started out as a YouTube convention.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is like what it was for, right?
Exactly. And seeing those YouTubers interact with these fans who come it is mayhem. And they're like celebrities,
Yeah.
but you don't really consider them it because it's like on the internet. But
we shot a Nike thing at VidCon like 2 years ago. This was right after Giannis won MVP, right? It was the lineup for this like celebrity thing that we were filming was Giannis Antetokounmpo, MVP of the NBA, and then David Dobrik. There was like
Dobrik, I bet.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yeah. David Dobrik. Fucking raw.
Oh my God.
It was insane,
bet.
dude. You wouldn't believe, it was the most craziest response I've ever seen, dude. It was insane. And like I'm like, dude, Giannis is like a really big deal. Okay.
Yeah, but you know the people.
It's not the audience.
Yeah,
it's not the audience.
yeah.
But it was just crazy to see.
But I think as far as like breaking through the noise with vlogging, David Dobrik certainly did it. All of our fucking favorites, Casey Neistat, really revolutionized. Like with the first influencers on YouTube, you know, people were daily vlogging. Casey Neistat came up, fucked the whole game up for everybody.
Yeah.
And then David Dobrik did another form of vlogging and then fucked the game up a whole different way.
Well, because he
He was
from
hitting
Vine.
and he was hitting you fast. His video wasn't like a 3-part narrative. It was literally just like boom.
Well, it was like he came from Vine, then he just like made
Yep.
like 10, I'm just gonna put 10 vines in a row and call it a video.
Yep.
R.I.P. Vine, huh?
Oh man,
Vine was great.
Vine was sick. Vine for those listening, if you never had the chance to be on Vine, Vine was just 6-second videos that usually were funny or had some sort of like.
And you'd always make them like in app, which is fun.
In app, you never
Yeah.
you never use like a video editor.
It was
to make
basically
the
like
Vines.
primitive TikTok, basically, minus like the trends. So
Yeah.
it's like a lot more creative, I would say, a lot more uniqueness.
Super creative. The craziest thing was how intricate the Vines were getting with just the phone.
Just the phone.
Yeah.
Like the video editing was like
dude.
the transitions that people were coming up with back
Right.
then. I mean, it set the foundation for what TikTok is and what short form video is.
So I was in a jet ski accident. I think it was junior year of high school when Vine was a thing, and I got 6 staples in my head. Right. Anyways, Vine's a thing. So we have a staple gun at my house. So my brother fake shoots me with a staple gun, like from a distance. And my mom goes, Spencer! And then the next shot is just me being like, oh, and there's just 6 staples just like lined up in my head. And it was like my only Vine video that did pretty good.
Oh my
Really
gosh.
going into it.
That's
great.
funny.
And then Vine died.
Vine
died.
died. Twitter bought Vine, and they could not keep up with that cloud service. Cloud services to keep these apps running, guys, is just cost millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars.
Could only imagine.
And Twitter couldn't figure out a way to monetize, which we were just speaking before the pod. Fucking run some ads, huh?
Yeah, hey, just like put ads on it.
Put ads on the damn app. But I guess maybe they thought that it would ruin it, and that's something that we're seeing. Like Instagram is
right.
pretty ruined.
Seems like TikTok found it out there, figured it out.
They figured. I mean, but it's only a matter of time, though. It really is. It's only a
Right.
matter of time because the apps have like, if the app is free, you're the product.
Right.
So
yeah, exactly.
you know, so if the TikTok is
Right,
free,
right,
eventually
right.
they're going to be like, okay, guys, we need some capital here. Let's
Right.
run some more ads, and,
Right.
and we're barely seeing like the big brands on. That's why the reach is still so good. The big brands are there, but they're not dumping a shit ton of money into the app yet. Like, you know, maybe a little brand like you're seeing here and there, like Pretty Little Thing I know has been doing some crazy shit. It's a women's fashion brand that's based in LA. They've been doing nuts, but
It's Braden's favorite.
I love Pretty Little Thing. But you haven't seen
You are
like,
Pretty Little
you
Thing.
haven't seen like when you're scrolling, it doesn't bug you to see ads, you know? Like
on TikTok, yeah, because you just scroll right over past
you
them.
just do. You don't even look
So
at them.
easy to get
Just
past
see you
them.
later.
Another thing with Vine, I remember watching a video that Daystorm. Do you remember Daystorm? He was a popular Viner, but he put out a YouTube video explaining like what happened, why Vine crashed. Basically, there was like 10 or 20 of the top Viners, and they met with Vine, and they said, "Hey, your app's dying," and they were trying to work out a deal with Vine to have them pay them like quite a bit of money to stay on the app because they were starting to kind of go. The app was kind of dying. It hadn't died fully, but it was on its decline, and they were starting to make content on other platforms. And they were trying to work out a deal where Vine would pay them a lot of money to stay on the app, and Vine didn't feel like they needed to prioritize the creators, and they thought that just everyone posting on the app would keep it alive, and it just wasn't the case.
I think it's something that all of the apps are realizing, and I mean just big businesses are realizing now how important creative is, and they're starting to pay creators a shit ton of money to make content that has like their product in the videos.
The amount of money that is in the influencer and content creator space is absurd. It's only going up.
It's billions, and exactly. It's only getting bigger. And I think that if you're listening, you're like, oh, my time's too late. It's not too late. It's if anything, it's like just starting, and there's gonna be another app in a few years.
Right.
You know, and
There always is.
And you just have to be an early adopter and just scroll and try and understand what's going on, what people are liking, what's working well, you know, and try and curate your own voice on the platform.
Right, which is really important, and not just like take what everyone else is doing, but like actually start. And I feel like with all the money that came in, like people started to make money. I feel like that's when like Instagram was really like, oh, like this is a place where you can post brand deals and shit. But Instagram was funny because it started, I mean, I remember was starting Instagram and it was always like, you just do the hashtags, right? Like Thursday, it's like, oh, I can post a throwback. Finally, I was waiting for Thursday. You know what I mean?
You adhered to the system of what Instagram had put in front of you.
And you just use the filters. No one like edited their photos like not on the filter, like at least in the beginning of Valencia, fucking Nashville,
Claiborne,
dude.
Melbourne.
I think it was Claiborne for some reason, which is not a city.
I think it's Melbourne.
Melbourne's definitely a city in Australia.
I know. I'm pretty sure Melbourne's definitely. Cairo was one of them.
Yeah.
They must have been a bunch of cities. Holy shit. Cairo's in Italy.
Valencia
is a city.
Yeah, Valencia's a city in
Italy.
Spain. It's in Spain.
It's in Italy as well. We'll table it. Yeah, it might be in both.
You want to say it's in both just for you? I'll let you have it just so you're not embarrassed on the podcast. It's just in Spain.
It's also in Italy.
But yeah, Instagram came out in, I want to say 2011.
What about Facebook though? We're skipping over Facebook. We're gonna go back to Facebook. Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook was crazy because Facebook came after obviously MySpace. And it kind of took MySpace to a whole other level. Like it was the first time so many different things came about. The like button,
commenting on I guess that was the thing on MySpace, but like commenting on shit and like sharing what you were doing in that moment was like, oh, people are sharing personal stuff about their families, about like them. That was probably one of the first times you got people doing a bunch of dope shit. And it was publicized and people were getting like attention for their lives being cooler or whatever you want to call that.
Sure. Right. Because there were like the primitive almost influencer on Facebook. I feel like kind of happened. You also had like relationship status. All of a sudden, I remember it was the biggest deal.
That was the biggest deal.
I remember when like my buddy was like official, like Facebook official. It was like the biggest deal, dude.
And it was like you saw, what was even better was when a pretty girl that you liked in like 7th grade posted that thing and was like, not in a relationship with that anymore. I was like, let's go.
That's how you found out,
let's
dude.
Go,
or they'd give you the it's complicated. I'm like, what does that mean,
dude? They'd post the thing. I'm like, so you with this guy or not?
I thought we were still dating.
So funny.
That's no good.
And I mean, Facebook now has just turned into like our parents' generation.
Yeah. People that my mom goes dummy viral on Facebook. Dude.
Yeah, no, my
mom
aunt
loves
does too.
Facebook
Do you guys ever go? I used to use Facebook in college. That's how we communicate, like with the fraternity. That's how that was how
Messenger.
we were like, that's how we're making our parties. Our party pages were all on Facebook. But then after I haven't touched Facebook in years.
I go on every now and then. Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, Marketplace is kind of cool.
Yeah, I go on Facebook every now and then, but I haven't posted a photo or put a status, updated my profile picture in a while.
I probably like update my profile picture maybe once a year, just to keep like my relevant when my mom posts my picture, and then people like, I don't know. That's like the only connection I have though, is like my mom's like, check out this picture I posted you. It's going very viral for whatever fucking reason. Dude, and the comments are so lovely. The comments on Facebook are so nice because it's all like old people and they're like, wow, what a darling little boy.
Dude, old people's engagement is crazy on Facebook.
My aunt's engagement's insane on Facebook.
What's crazy though is I remember when we were younger and Facebook was like it. And then Instagram came along, but I never thought that Facebook was just gonna like go away.
Right.
And then Instagram popped off, and then you were like, I don't think Instagram's really gonna go away. And then it's like,
well, it's funny because they don't go away necessarily.
Sure.
They push to a different age group.
Yes. Yeah.
Like the older age group are like, okay, we're just gonna have Facebook. And I feel like people like slightly older than me, particularly because I'm 26, I'm an old man. People like just older than me, like my brother Benton, for example, is 30. Instagram is like his like generation.
They
like
love that. Yeah, that's their platform.
And I think that will be their thing for like the whole time.
And so you think our thing's just going to be TikTok?
Well, I'm kind of in the Instagram because I'm a little older. I'm like in between.
I think it's just interesting,
but like
because
Chloe is like, I feel like she's gonna ride TikTok till she's like 80, dude. She's gonna be fucking doing the
she's
moves
gonna do
and
a little dance with her kids and shit. It's gonna be nuts.
Just getting a bunch of hate comments on videos.
What's her username, Chloe? Let's
Tell,
shout her
tell
out.
us that stupid bitch's username.
Chloe's getting
You
some hate
blocked her?
comments on
Yeah,
TikTok.
that's funny.
She was rude.
I think it's just, I guess what I'll say is I never thought I would, when Facebook was popping, I never thought I would spend less time than I was spending on Facebook for another app because it like didn't exist yet.
And we
then
thought that on Instagram.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, Instagram is it. I'm always going to be like on Instagram 24/7 type of thing. And then TikTok came along and I'm spending way less time on Instagram. And it's just a weird thing to think about. But that's just how it goes.
And it's weird to think that in like 4 years, probably there'll be like Bing Bang.
And the gram was
Bing Bang,
yeah,
the
seriously.
app?
Yeah, exactly.
wait,
Byron
should we
makes his own
make
app.
that?
I heard he's running for president.
Byron, that's awesome.
Yeah,
not mad at
Byron.
Instagram was,
Fuck your life, Bing Bang. Dude, I fucking love that, dude. It's so funny.
he just got a crib. They've like got to go find
Good,
He's got a
good,
crib.
good.
He's off the streets.
That's like I watched not that many TikToks. That is like it just tickles my funny bone, dude.
IG was originally made for food, which is crazy because now it's interesting because whatever the app is made for, it's bound to change because the people decide where the app goes.
Right, yeah, of course.
You know, and now the gram is just littered with ads and people trying to be way sicker than they are.
Well, and like Snapchat, not to totally derail, but we can just touch on it really quickly.
Brief.
I feel like, I mean, Evan Spiegel was like literally said, I like this girl wouldn't show me her boobs on a hard copy on a text. So I invented Snapchat, basically.
Is that right?
Are
So
you
it was
kidding
just
me?
for like naughty little pictures between like relationships. And then the Gen Zs took it and we're just like, let's just like talk like this. Dude, I don't get it. It's really funny to me for watch. They'll just take a picture of their face and then like send a text basically.
Yeah.
And like, why do you have to put the picture of your face? Like, why can't you just send a text?
I remember I didn't have Snapchat, and then my buddy was like, dude, this is great for like snapping girls and getting
See,
like
but
risky
Chloe has a
photos.
point, and I think I know what the point is. Girls think only fuckboys do that, and I think they're right.
No.
I was gonna say, if you're looking at the difference between Snapchat and sending a text, then like, what about like FaceTime versus phone call? I feel like that's like.
Well, you can, yeah, but you can like see them talking, and actually, fuck, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that is a pretty good point.
Yeah,
That's a
got
great
me.
point.
I also think it's also funny because they'll send it. It's like half their face.
That's the guy trick. When you were snapping chicks back in the day, it was always half the face.
Yeah,
right?
well, how come my face is so much more appealing?
If you're ugly.
That's just not. Chloe said it's only if you're ugly. That's just not true. Because I was super handsome. I was only saying half my face. So.
See, but I know girls have told me though, it's like we've moved from Snap to text. Like things are getting more serious. Like I feel like Snap is like just when you're starting to talk. It's also easier though because you have like more to talk about. It's easier to be like, look at my Christmas tree, and not just be like,
yeah, exactly.
Hey,
Hey, what's
like-
up, little mama? What are you doing?
Right,
It's-
let's-
yeah.
Yeah.
Snapchat is kind of great to interact with the girl throughout the day without having to like keep texting her because you're just like, oh, I'm doing this, but like
Yeah.
it's way more casual to send a photo.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
but and then Snapchat made the stories, right? Where they like invented stories,
which is a
Big
great
deal.
thing. Great thing.
Stories that Twitter has.
High
everyone
school,
has
we
stories.
were ripping stories.
Snapchat
guys-
stories, big time.
Right?
Do you guys remember the rollout of Snap Stories? Jay Alvarez and Alexis Ren were like the poster childs. They did a whole campaign with Snapchat. And, like,
Oh,
do you remember
Yes,
that?
dude?
Pretty crazy.
Oh my
And I
God.
remember watching it and being like, I fucking love Jay Alvarez and Alexis Ren, but like, I don't know what the fuck this story thing is about. And then it became what it became.
Well, and it's interesting too because then I feel like the primitive like influencer stories was back
Yeah.
in like we were talking like DJ Khaled on his jet ski, and all of a sudden for some reason like people figured out that you can just like follow people on Snap. You can like follow them, but you could like become their friends, but you couldn't like snap them. And then
They
would
could
just, like,
decide. They could
they'd have to
decide.
they could
accept
decide.
Yeah.
So then, but you could still watch their stories. So then DJ Khaled, I remember like it was a moment, like coming to Accounting 201 sophomore year of college. And then my buddy Jacob's like, dude, did you see DJ Khaled on his jet ski? That was geek. Because that's how Jacob talks. And it's hilarious. Everything is geeked. And it was so funny. We all like had this shared like story that we had watched together, which was like the first time that's really happened. I feel like he was like
Also-
making like little vlogs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's weird because I didn't even realize that that could even be a thing on Snapchat. Like,
Right.
I didn't realize it was just more for interacting with your friends, right? As
Right.
opposed to having like the followers and following
Right.
that was on like Instagram
Do
and
you
other
do you
apps.
think that they put out that 3 best friends thing and then a guy took over charge there and he goes, "We're gonna dish this shit"? Do you remember that?
They not. Oh, right.
Dude, that would ruin so many relationships. The 3 best friends.
Well, you
thing,
could go
they'd
up
be
to
like,
7 though, couldn't you?
No. But I'm saying like you used to could go on Snapchat, click a person's profile, and see their 3 best friends,
Yes.
and say you had,
Oh, yeah.
say you were talking to one girl or something, and then the 3rd girl was like under there, be like, "Yo, who's Monica?" And you're like, "Oh shit, that's just my cousin. That's my cousin."
Dude.
You remember what I'm saying? And then they took that away. They took the 3 best friends thing away, and then they're like, "All right, we're just gonna let you guys. We're gonna put the score, so we'll know if
Yeah.
you're wild."
Some
and if you put
cheating
the-
bastard for sure
Yeah,
at
right.
Snapchat was just like, no, we can't have that.
We can't have this anymore.
And then there's the streaks, and you were like, "Oh, we've been snapping
for-
back and forth
yeah.
for
So I think this was like
400
right
days in a row.
I feel like that was like right below me because I remember like I like helped
rip
out at this
streaks?
camp and with like kids that were like 3 years younger than me, and like we took their phones away, and they were like, okay, but like you have to make sure there's a counselor there that keeps track of all my streaks, like keep my streaks alive. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
yeah.
And they're like,
You're
no.
trying to go streaking,
Right.
What?
I'm like, no, I get it. Streaking's dope, dude. This is camp. Like you should
going
go streaking for sure.
Everybody's doing
Everyone
it.
was
Come
over.
on.
Everyone was over 18. Don't cancel me. Everyone was over 18. They were. But what I was gonna say is Instagram saw that and they were like, oh,
Stole it.
stories. That's interesting. And like how we were saying that you have to adapt with the times to like stay relevant. So do the apps, right? And so does
100%.
Instagram. Sees like DJ Khaled's making stories. Like we should have stories for all the people.
And they've arguably been the best at playing copycat. Like, cause
Yeah.
100%.
Zuck tried to buy Snapchat. Do you guys know the
Yeah,
story? For like
yeah.
I think it was like
like 3 billion.
3
or something
billion,
like
yeah,
that.
something like that. Now Snapchat's worth like
And they said, "Fuck off."
yeah, they said fuck off, and then Zuck was like, fine, I'll just make my own shit. And then
Right.
Snap sued them, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
And then it just nothing ever came
You
of
think
it.
Zuck's just a competitive zombie robot or
Yes,
what? Dude?
absolutely.
He
Zuck-
just wants to take
He's
over
just
the
a
fucking
lizard.
world.
Yeah.
God, he's competitive because he has so much money.
Oh yeah, he can do whatever. He has the team to do whatever ever he could possibly imagine or want. They can make it happen.
Really
at
quick, my
Facebook.
brother told me this really. So my brother's roommate when he first moved to Silicon Valley was a security at Facebook, not like security like at the door, like literally like
was
if
the
someone
bouncer.
if someone on Facebook was doing something shady, he would like get them arrested in like whatever Berlin or whatever the fuck. He would be like, oh, I got someone in Tehran today, like and just like because he would like do all the coding. Anyways, he said that Ooey Boom, you know, like the speaker company, came to the campus, which is basically a mini city, by the way. It's really cool. And they gave a demo to Mark Zuckerberg for like their speaker and like poured ketchup all over it and then like washed it off with water and then like it was still playing music the whole time. And then Spencer said, my brother came into the headquarters and they got to see Zuckerberg's desk and he had the Ooey Boom on his desk. And he said, I've never bought something so fast. He said, he's just like,
Wow.
I bought the speaker instantly and now the Ooey Boom's like huge, which is really interesting.
That's
crazy.
crazy.
I was watching a Gary Vee interview with Mark Zuckerberg.
The most recent one. Okay.
And the comments were like, "Wow, Zuck's like software's updating. He's getting a lot more like human-like. He's not so robotic anymore."
His AI has done a lot of
Is
machine
it-
learning,
yeah,
figured
they're-
it out.
They're giving him some upgrades. That's so funny.
But yeah, so once Instagram stole stories, I totally stopped using Snapchat for
Same.
stories. I still use it today.
What was your
like,
reasoning for that though? I had a reasoning for it.
I feel like because I had a following on Instagram, I had more people to see the stories, and they kind of did it better than.
I feel like for a
Snapchat.
while though, I would do some different, like some Instagram stuff was like
Sure.
how I wanted to be my personal Instagram
Yes.
brands would be like cooler photos and like adventure stuff. Snapchat was just like me like doing stupid dances or like goofy moves with my friends. It was like not for the masses or like what I wanted to brand.
Yeah.
And I did that for a while. It was like a transitional thing.
I remember seeing when the gram came out and then I posted and you could see how many people were watching your story or whatever, obviously. And I was like, okay, these are getting at the time maybe 200 and my snap was getting 100 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, no brainer to go with the one that's giving me double the exposure to like people to see what I'm posting about.
Yeah.
So then I just was like, fuck Snapchat.
But
Just
I think the young kids still make Snap stories, right?
No, yeah. So my Snap still has just a shit ton of stories from people that are young, like 3-4 years younger than me, and then
Chloe, you making Snapchat stories?
I have a private story that I post to a lot.
A private Snapchat
Chloe
story?
says she rips the private story.
Makes me uncomfortable. Is that OnlyFans?
Is that like an OnlyFans thing?
She's making bread. One thing that I do like about Snapchat is the memories. How you can post on
I do like the
how
memories.
you can post on stories and then it's like, oh, this is what you were doing 4 or 5 years ago to this day. And you can even scroll by like month and I'm like, fuck, that was fun, because so much of my Snap stories were during college.
Yep,
Right.
same. Do you send them every day to your group? Like we wake up. I wake up.
yeah.
Groups, yeah.
The group chats. getting this-
Snapchat groups was.
Oh,
man.
I mean, I still use Snapchat groups all the time.
Same. Just that's how I communicate with my friends from college.
College,
Yes,
yeah.
100%.
We're still in Snapchat group, and we use it probably every day.
We used to joke, I remember, with the youngins in our fraternity, because like when we were freshmen, or no, okay, so when I was a senior, the freshmen that I recruited or whatever, they're like, oh, let's all get in a Snap group, and I was like, the fuck, you got. We didn't even have that when I was a freshman, and like we had Group Me because we didn't have Snap group
Oh,
chat.
Group Me, that
we
was
didn't-
a thing.
We didn't even have Snap group chat because it wasn't a thing yet. And so then they were like, "Oh, let's go get in a Snap." I'm like, "You get in a Snap group chat? You guys think you're sick now because you have it?"
And then you could name the Snap group
Yep.
chat, and for some reason
Yeah.
that was
That
a big
was
deal.
sick. That was
Like,
sick.
how did I not think of that earlier?
No,
Ours is called Dave.
Dave.
Oh, interesting.
It was this whole thing. It started as one word and it transitioned to a whole other
Sure.
thing, but now it's Dave.
Not
But
important.
it's funny you brought up Group Me, because thinking, or going back to the original point of thinking that this is gonna last forever type of thing as far as
Right.
social
Oh my
media, I was like, oh, our Group Me's just fine. I was like, oh, in 20 years when we're still ripping the Group Me like in our group chat, like just haven't even checked Group
just
Me.
deader than I just deleted it for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and now we're seeing like what do you think about Instagram right now? Do you like the app? How hard is it for you to make it on the app?
So-
What is your advice to someone that's like, oh, should I rip? Because I'm ripping Reels right now. I've just ripped the past few days some Reels. They're just murdering it.
Reels are great because they want to compete with TikTok,
Yeah.
so they're boosting the Reels. I'll post on a photo on the feed, and not that likes are everything, but I used to get like 600, 700 likes a photo.
Okay.
Like when Instagram was like a proper thing and I was like traveling and making good photos. Now I get like 150.
Do you think though that's because your story? Like I've kept,
But stories are still ripping.
okay, so you've kept with your stories like the entire time because that's
Yes.
how I'm interacting with my audience.
Same. I feel like Instagram is just stories now.
Okay, because I'm not really posting a ton. You're posting pretty decent amount of feed shit because of like deals and like keeping up, right?
Yeah, I also Reels is interesting. Reels has the most engagement out of anything. When video came to Instagram, that just in general, that was like a
Right.
big thing. Reels wasn't a thing yet. It was just like the in-feed video.
30 seconds tops. I think it was 15, and then they let you have 30.
Yeah.
And that was just like a kind of a crazy thing because Instagram was just photos for so long. And part of me kind of wanted it to just stay
Me
photos.
too.
I was like, this is a photo sharing app. I don't want you to bring videos into it. What videos am I going to post on this? I didn't really get it. And then you kind of see how other people start using the different features and you're like, oh, I get it.
Well, it is interesting though because I do now that I think more about it. The part of the reason why you only see like brands and like Barstool Sports on Instagram in your feed is because I feel like all the people I follow just make stories, dude. It's just like, oh, this is what I'm doing. This is what I've been up to. And like, that's how I use it. It's like, I use it to like keep up with people almost, like see what they're doing because that's where they post, but not in the feed. I feel like the feed's like not really a thing anymore.
I still rip the feed, and then I rip Explore. Just the Explore part. I'll just go scroll.
I've
I'll
never
just-
explored.
I'll just get some fish stuff, get some random shit in there, and then some camera shit. I'll find out what's new with the red, what cameras are like going on. Like my feed, they pretty much know what I'm about.
What's interesting about that is I don't like really rip the Explore all that much. And what's so interesting about Instagram versus an app like TikTok is Instagram is based solely or mostly off of who you follow. So you open up the app, you're at the your homepage, your feed, similar to like a Facebook type of thing. It's just who you follow.
Who you know, people you know of.
Exactly. And TikTok completely switched the game and was like, hey, the second you open the app, we're going to give you your Explore page or the For You page. And so now it's just based off of like content that's gone viral or that it thinks you'll like. And I, on TikTok, not to bring it up quite yet, but I hardly ever, if ever, go over to the following tab. And it's a very different user experience than on
I
Instagram.
never go to the following tab.
on
ever.
TikTok. No,
Ever.
never, ever.
That's silly, yeah.
But on Instagram, I just lost it. I have no idea.
No, I mean,
Something about it though. Oh, I'm ready.
go.
There's something about
What do you
that
think?
Instagram.
What do you think about them bringing back the chronological feed?
I think it's good, but I don't think it's going to save the app, dude. I think TikTok is a much better app. It's a never-ending scroll. Instagram now, you get done scrolling and they show you like 57 people that I should follow. I'm like, fuck you, Instagram. Don't tell me who to follow. Don't tell me who to follow. I'll follow
Right.
them if I want to follow them.
Right.
You know, it just bugs me. It genuinely does. I'm just like, eh. And then I just log off the app and I go to TikTok.
I have a hot take.
Hot
You
take.
don't just like get out of bed and start your day.
Nope. Go to TikTok.
I have a hot take. I was never that mad that Instagram got rid of the chronological order. I was
same. I wasn't that mad about it either.
because they're like, whatever accounts you're interacting with most,
they're gonna show you. Yeah, they'll show you those first.
So I was like, I was never really that mad about it. Everyone's like, oh my God, they're bringing it back. I'm like, it's not really going to make a big difference to me.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to change anything at all. And I think that creators right now are using Instagram to build their brand. Like you're having like your main brand, I would say, on Insta. But now that I have a much bigger brand on TikTok, I'm prioritizing my TikToks. Like when I'm thinking about making shit, I'm thinking about making it for TikTok.
Yeah.
Right. It's funny because we talked about how like Instagram stories, like the first Instagram stories were all just like add me on Snapchat, use my Snapchat because that was the thing. And then TikTok was all like add me on Instagram. Like I'll go viral on here, come into my Instagram.
Yeah.
That's where everyone's trying to funnel their Instagram. I feel like that's probably going to go away and it's just going to be I'm on TikTok, stay on my TikTok, baby.
I still think it's important though to diversify because remember when Trump was like, we're going to just delete I'm like, dog, what? No, do not delete.
Please don't delete TikTok.
Don't delete TikTok. I just went viral last week. I'm just getting a little bit of fame here. Like,
your boy's popping on TikTok.
Come on, dude. You know,
dummy viral.
Yeah. And then they ended up keeping it. Like they sold a portion to I think the people that own Walmart or something.
Really?
That could be totally wrong. I think that's
they were
right,
trying to do that.
Something happened. It's still around.
Yeah, it's still around.
Trump's not president. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah,
fucker.
Something. But like, I don't know. TikTok for me, when it started, it was senior year of college. Myself and my buddy Kyle Finney, we got on TikTok. I remember seeing Charlie. Kyle comes into my room one day. He goes, "Yeah, this girl's just popping 25K, like 25,000 followers." I'm like, he goes, "She just keeps popping on my For You page like every day. I've seen her like 5 days in a row."
Charlie D'Amelio.
And then we check like 2 days later. I'm like, "Kai, that girl's at 100,000." And he goes, "Yeah, weird, man. She's just popping. Like she's got what was it called? The hype. The hype."
Oh yeah.
That's what they called it, the hype. And then we're reading her comments and they're just like Charlie has the hype. Charlie has the hype. And then she's like at 200, 300, 400, a million, 2 million, 3 million. And it's like, holy shit.
She was literally at her height growing 1 million followers a day.
It was nuts. I think you'd see.
Holy shit.
It was insane.
Are we certain she's a real person?
Yeah.
Has anyone seen her in real life?
Met her last week.
Really?
2 weeks ago.
You've seen her in real life?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, Brayden's in the scene, dude.
I'm in the scene, dude.
I don't know.
I met her.
He stays in the hills.
Sometimes I'm like, I don't know if these are real people or maybe just renderings.
No, yeah, she was real. I met the little Chase Huddy. They were both, or little Huddy. They were there.
What's really weird though is I had never seen her on my For You page until like just a while back. And then I would like check the comments. People were like, first time seeing Charlie on your For You page.
In a minute type of thing? Or just, yeah. It's
in a minute, in a while, or like first time ever.
That happens. I'll go without seeing her. I usually like watch her videos if they pop up. And I feel like I haven't seen her in months.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
That's also another crazy thing is there will be creators that I'll really like and I'll go through a phase of really consuming their content on either Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok. And then they kind of out of sight, out of mind for whatever reason. And then they pop back up on your feed. You're like, oh, fuck, I forgot about you. I really like your stuff.
It's kind of how like Yara's friends though, right?
True.
It's like, man, we hung out like every day that week. And then we just like fucked off for like 3 months. And then I saw you in the street. And I was like, oh yeah, we had some good times.
What do you think right now, if you could give advice to someone, do you think that, what's the platform that you make the most content for?
I'm bringing back Tumblr, man.
I'm like, I really try to just make like a dope Instagram story, if I'm being totally honest. I don't think that's like the right move. I don't think it's the right advice. That's what I personally do because I think it's fun.
What was the question?
If you're trying to grow.
If you're trying to grow, you got to go on TikTok.
Yeah. If you're trying to grow, what's the app you post on? I think I can think of 3 different particular. It's all vertical. Everything I'm going to say is vertical.
Yeah.
Which is brutal because I feel like a lot of and it's a route that's changed my career, to be honest, because I think when I started this whole filmmaking thing, and you guys might cry about this, but like it started off like wide, beautiful cinema, and I still have a love for that, and I'll make movies one day.
I hate holding the camera vertically.
Oh no, I don't hold it vertically though.
Feels
I
weird.
just scale in, baby. I just scale in.
I know you do, but I hate making vertical videos.
You do. You hate making. See, I enjoy the process of content, like just creating something. But I also think that you got to adapt with the fucking apps.
Have to.
Because otherwise okay, like if you're trying to be like a creator, let's umbrella term it creator, and you don't understand how to make content for each app, you're just not going to get jobs.
So true.
You're gonna
Absolutely.
you're gonna go make a campaign for $50,000, and they're like, yeah, we need stuff for social, we need stuff for TikTok, and you're just gonna give them wide shit. They're gonna look at you like you're stupid.
Right. No,
They're gonna be like, oh,
absolutely.
so you don't know what we're talking about.
Oh, I know you got to do it. I mean, all the stuff we made, all the stuff basically I make for like branded campaigns is all for Instagram.
Yeah.
Shit. It's all vertical.
I would love it to be wide. I love it to be
Right.
wide, but you just have to. You got to go with where the fuck it's going.
Absolutely. You
Because
got to.
everything is on this.
Exactly,
It started
exactly.
on a computer and it's this. It's
Yep.
vertical now.
Right.
That's why all the content is vertical.
Which is annoying. Like it's annoying.
It is annoying.
It's annoying because I love the. That's why YouTube is sick, because it's wide.
And the wide frame is just prettier.
It's for sure. It's way prettier because you have so much more information, so much more detail to like have your audience see 14 things at once.
It's going to be interesting though once we have like cinematographers who grew up in this space that can stack a beautiful vertical frame. Like all the cinematography we've ever seen is always like wide, like the wide
you're
shot.
so right,
They're going to
dude.
find crazy ways to use vertical space and it's going to be sick.
You're so right.
I
I think it's important though. You got to learn how to make content on every single app, and I think it's important to have a presence. You don't have to be like dividing all of your time into all of them, but like I have a presence on every app.
Yeah.
I might not have a big presence on Twitter, but like a few thousand followers here, like you know, whatever on YouTube that I have, like TikTok, Instagram, like I am trying to be in front of people's faces. And I think if it's one thing that I've learned over the years from all of these apps emerging is creators always adapt. So like creators go to the attention. Like David Dobrik is on TikTok.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He left YouTube. Yeah.
He stopped vlogging
and just
was the whole
ripping the
pandemic
talk.
ripping TikToks
Yeah.
and was staying
huge, super relevant.
That's
super
what
relevant.
the good ones do is you adopt
The
early
best
and
of-
you just go
yeah.
all in.
You adapt or die. Also, what's crazy, speaking of getting jobs, dude, I got to now work and film for Loud Luxury, which came off
Right.
of TikTok. And had I been like a purist and like, I'm going to stay on Instagram, like fuck this kid dancing app,
Yeah.
TikTok, I wouldn't have gotten that opportunity.
Absolutely.
And second off, I came across a TikTok of Russ, a rapper, talking about how he's at home on TikTok. He was originally like, fuck this app. He's on it. He goes, it's crazy that me as a successful rapper can be on TikTok and find an unbelievably talented singer or rapper or this next artist who I might even sign,
Right.
who they don't have to know me or they don't have to reach out to me directly. It's like I can find them just through the power of this algorithm, which is like, it's completely different than any other app, which is crazy.
And I mean, you've made a solid amount of money on TikTok this year.
So that's another thing is talk about diversity.
Yeah.
I used to really only monetize on Instagram. Now I have TikTok as well. And I have more
Right.
followers on TikTok than Instagram. It's really nice being able to kind of double down. Also, I have the option if a brand reaches out to me and says, hey, we want to do an Instagram brand deal or
Double
I want to,
bread, baby.
Exactly.
Right.
You can double down and say, hey, you know, this would be great for in-feed Instagram photo, but I can also make you a reel that can also do a TikTok and then boom, 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 you make more money.
It's genius.
And I mean, Monster didn't even ask for that TikTok that I made them, but like that thing ate. It's got like 11,000.
Well, and it's fun, dude.
Yeah, it's interesting though because like if I can preach to you one thing about like this whole pod, it's to just never look at this new app and tell it to fuck off. It's to try and just be open-minded and scroll and just try and understand.
Yeah.
Like scroll for a few hours on whatever app ends up coming up and whatever app becomes like quote unquote like relevant and just scroll.
And try to be open-minded, I think, is important, and this is a good reminder for me too, about like all the things. Like I see NFTs, I'm like, that's fucking dumb, dude. But I really
we're gonna make them.
yeah, you know that it's like, I'm like, if I would have just jumped on it right away, I'd probably be like real rich guy right now.
That's
you know
a-
what I mean?
that's
Instead
a-
of hating on it for 6 months and then getting slowly eased into it.
505 podcast NFT coming soon.
It'll be there
this,
one day.
This episode's actually
Gonna
an
be
NFT.
an NFT one day.
All right. It's up for 16,000 Ethereum.
Ethereum.
That's funny. Okay, if you had to start at ground zero, what are you ripping? What app are you ripping? Ground zero.
I think it depends on what you're trying to get. What you're trying to build. Because if you have the time and energy to put into YouTube, I think grind on YouTube. TikTok has the organic reach, which I think if you're gonna go on one app, go on TikTok because you just have the best opportunity to grow as a creator. It's organic reach is like damn near dead on Instagram unless you're
Ripping
like ripping
reels.
reels. But yeah, I would say TikTok, but don't limit yourself to TikTok like we were talking about. You got to diversify and be on everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 10.
9.
9.
You're ahead of us. You're
I always just keep getting one ahead. God damn it. Thank you for tuning in to episode 9 of the 505 Pod. Please go leave us a review in the podcast app. If you have it, it really does help us out more than you know. And lob a screenshot up on your story. Tag the boys. And we'll see you guys all next week.
Bye.
Peace.